Chandra, I'm
Hey,
so excited to have this chat with you and the mission of today is to inspire others by sharing your story, sharing what you do, and how doing the work to build your business has transformed not only your business, but you as an individual, as an entrepreneur. And I just want to show the world your brilliance because you're amazing. It's been such a pleasure to work with you
thank you.
over the last few months, and I'm so proud of everything that you've accomplished. And why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll take it from there.
Well, my name is Chandra Gary. I am a career coach and certified career advisor with Solutions by Chandra LLC. And that's a long way of saying is what I do is I help women who are working in miserable, sucky jobs have the courage to pursue an opportunity that they're gonna love. It's gonna bring them joy and restore their peace of mind, but even more importantly, compensate them appropriately. Because I tell ladies that they're not a coupon. You do not act like you're a coupon. You're worthy of getting paid.
That's right. That's right. And you have such a powerful story of why you became passionate about this throughout your career and the things that you've experienced. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Sure, I worked in higher education for a number of years, well, actually almost 30 years, and I loved what I did, but I didn't love the environment. Just as everything in the world changes, the environment started to change. And
Mm-hmm.
I realized that this just wasn't for me, and it started to affect my health, where I was just
Mm-hmm.
very stressed. And the turning point for me is when I went for a massage, and my massage therapist had to use a heating pad on my back just to be able to give me the massage. She goes, "This isn't good. Your muscles are too tight." And I said, my muscles are tight. The heart is a muscle. My father died at age 54. I don't want to go out like that. So I made a
Mm-hmm.
decision that, I had to do something. And so I moved some money around and I made a decision that I was going to leave my job and I gave resignation and I had no solid plan of what I was going to do. I just knew that I wanted to do my own thing. And so I took some time, 3 months to do what I call eat, pray, love. I did
Mm-hmm.
nothing. I ate, I prayed, and I lived life and did things that I had never done before. And then I said, it's time to start to kind of get focused. So that's a little bit about my background there.
That's awesome. I love you so much that you did your eat, pray, love.
Yes.
That's amazing. And wow, you are a brave woman to just quit your job without a backup plan. Um,
People thought I was crazy, but I just knew that God was going to have me. And the one skill that I knew how to help people get jobs and help them find their purpose. But it was
mhm,
truly a faith walk, and I didn't realize that I was so special in doing that until a lot of people just say, you left your job with benefits. Yeah.
mhm.
You left your guaranteed insurance. Yeah, I did.
Right, because your health is more important than any of that, right?
Mm-hmm. And the money I
It,
pull from, people say, well, why would you even touch that? I think, like, again, I think about my father, who he had congestive heart failure. He died of, actually, I think his kidney shut down. But he had money that was going to be in his retirement when he fully retired, but he never even got to that age. So I says, I can't. I says, I have to live longer than he did.
and when you say that, something just turns in my stomach. Oh, because there's people that I love that, passed on young. My mother, right? She died at 38. Um, and never got to live their full potential. She wanted to open up a hair salon and be a professional hairstylist. Um, and she waited a little too long because she was going to beauty school. She had just graduated beauty school when she died.
Mm-hmm.
And you just never know, right? You never know when God is going to take you home. So um, I'm just so inspired by your courageousness to go after what you know is right. And tell me a little bit about how you trusted the Lord in this and how you had the faith to step out and do something so bold and scary.
Well, I think the bold and scary came part because I love God, but I'm afraid of him too. There's a author named John Bevere who's written a number of books, but he wrote a book called I think it's Driven by Eternity, and he
Mm-hmm.
actually came to our church on a Wednesday night. I just kind of ministered a little bit, and what he said just really rocked my world. And he says, "Because you imagine, when it's our time to stand before the Lord, when it's Judgment Day, and he would say, 'Well, hello, Chandra, my good and faithful servant, my career consultant.' I says, well, no, God, I worked at a college. That's what I did. He goes, yes, you did. You worked at the college. And by working at the college, you affected 138,000 lives. But had you walked in your full purpose of what I wanted you to do, you would have touched 5 million people. But now come into my kingdom. I'm thinking, whoa, imagine making it, but you still didn't make God happy because you didn't do everything you needed to do. So
Mm-hmm.
that was, I never forgot that lesson. So then you fast forward several years later, and I just knew that what I was doing, I always, when I've had difficult situations at work, my prayer would be, God, move them or move me in a way that's comfortable. And all the other times, he moved the other people. This time, he wasn't moving people. He wasn't moving them. And I knew that if he wasn't moving them, it was time for me. And I said, Lord, you know what? I trust you. I trust you. And the scripture from Jeremiah, I'm always going to mess it up, but I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord. No plans to heal you, not to and for you to prosper. That was my scripture that I stood on. And I just said, you know what, Lord, you know what? It's just, I tithe, I live how I'm supposed to. God, it's on you. It's just you and me. And if it don't happen with you, I mean, I can't do it by myself. So I was just kind of bold in that way. And there have been some little struggles here and there, but my lights are still on. I still have my fluffiness, which means I can eat. But but it's just really, I'm trusting God that he's going to have me connect with people that he wants me to connect with. So it's not just, yeah.
And when you put the systems in place, you got clients. So it's just a matter of continuing to do that. You've still taken vacations, right?
Yes, God bless me. I had 4 vacations in 2017. I have never in my life. I didn't take my first real vacation until I was almost 30. So we just, growing up, we didn't have money for things like that. We would go, I live not far from Chicago, so we would go to Lake Michigan and throw rocks in the water. That was vacation. And we didn't know any different. We didn't know any different. But in last year, I was able to I went on 2 cruises. I went to the Caribbean in February. I went to Alaska in July. I went to Arizona in November and also Orlando around that same time as well. So that never happened. Like, how are you? Not just 2 or 3 days, like a full week. And I said, that was nothing but God. Nothing but God.
Yeah. Well, you were faithful in following your calling. You stepped out in faith. You did the courageous thing that scares most of us. I mean, it scares everybody, right? It scares everybody. It's just a matter of, are you going to take that step in faith? Because faith without works is dead, right?
Right.
So you're working it, girl. You're working it. And God has proven to be faithful. So I just want to praise him right now.
Me too. Me too. And also, I think it's also important not to put a timetable on it. Because I think when I start, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be doing, I have my little Post-it notes that I'm looking at right now. I'm going to do this, and this time. And it didn't quite happen in that time frame, but then I thought about it. Had it happened, would I have been really ready? I don't think so. I don't think so.
Oh, yeah.
So it's important to know that, you're going at his pace. It's his pace.
Right. Not getting ahead of him. And also, I think it's really important to leave the outcomes to the Lord, right? Because sometimes we don't appreciate all that we've accomplished because this is me talking about myself. I can become so fixated on achieving a particular goal that if I didn't hit that goal, I completely dismiss everything that I've done because I didn't hit my goal. So I've had to learn over 4 years in business for myself right now, how to be thankful and have gratitude for everything that I have accomplished. Because, 1 year I didn't make 6 figures, but I made 70,000. And I wasn't even thankful for that because it wasn't my 6 figures.
Right.
And I had to check myself and say, oh my goodness, Lord, forgive me. Forgive me because look all that I've learned. I've mastered Facebook ads now. I have mastered webinars. I've mastered this. And I have the most amazing women in my community. And I've reached over, 10,000 people this year. And just being grateful for those things and not to despise small beginnings.
Right.
because again, the timetable is in the Lord's hands, right? Yes, there's certain things you can do to kind of, move a little faster, but at the same time, holding that outcome in your hands and giving it to the Lord is so crucial.
It is, because
And
the business, it's his business anyway. And I don't say that to be kind of with that false humility. It
mm-hmm.
truly is. It's truly his business.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about how you work with people.
How do I work with them? I as far as how do I meet them, or what do I do as a coach working with them?
What
Just
do you do as a coach
as a
working with
coach.
them?
Well,
Mm-hmm.
I just think about some of the people that I work with. I really, most people when they contact me, they're upset about their job, about what they're doing. I help them go beneath the surface. So they may think, okay, I just need to go get another job, but really their issue is maybe they don't understand their worth. They don't understand what it is that they're called to do. So maybe it's a bad fit. So I help them really kind of get to their core and to get to know themselves. I use what I call a Socratic method, or fancy way of saying I ask people questions and make them cry. So when I ask the questions, it's not to make them feel bad, but it's usually I hit a nerve, and I've hit
Mm-hmm.
that pain point, and once I've hit that point, we can kind of grow from there. So when they've done that internal healing and of knowing themselves, knowing what it is they want, what they don't want to do, because sometimes people do things because other people think they should, and it's not really what their natural DNA is to do, so to speak.
Right.
So I help them identify that, and then I teach them how to how to market themselves, how to put it on paper, how to tell their story to other people. Because
Mm-hmm.
once they know what it is they want to do and they know how to share that with others, the mechanics of looking for a job, it's not hard. It's not hard.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's how I love that one-on-one interaction, just talking to them,
Mm-hmm.
and I also too, because I have a little background in pastoral counseling. I'm not a counselor, but I'm able to talk with them about certain issues and kind of put the Bible with it if they'd like to go that way, and just kind of
Mm-hmm.
encourage them.
Amazing. And I know that the clients that you have and have worked with in the past just absolutely find you priceless.
They do. The person I'm working with right now, one of her homework assignments for me is I give homework. I told her she had to say no to X amount of people. She's like, what do you mean? I said, yeah, you have to say no. And so I asked her to do like a little prep form that I get before her appointment. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, oh my goodness, I told people, I even told my mother no. Like,
Ooh.
yes. And so I read her, I have a meet with her tomorrow night, and I looked at her prep form. She goes, I'm continuing to say no. I've told my friends no. And she goes, I free up a lot of time. So that, again, was that job search related? No, but it was something that she needed. So now she's
Mm-hmm.
okay to tell people no, to only do what she wants to do.
That's awesome. That's so powerful, right? Taking back your power in that way. So let's talk a little bit about like the structure of your business and the journey that you've been on with your business. When we first started working together, where were you in your business?
I was trying to, I was watching everybody's webinars, trying to learn about what they did. Because I didn't understand what a webinar, the purpose of a webinar. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to learn and get all this free stuff. And so I was trying to learn how to do all these different little things on my own. Had no clue what I was doing. I was dangerous enough. And then I was trying to put together my own website, and I was looking for different things, and I found this lady that said, my name is Angelica, and she said her last name and put how to pronounce it. I'm thinking, that's pretty cool. So I bookmarked the site. And I'm all about vision boards, putting things on paper. So I bookmarked this person's site in, let's say, January of last year. So then later on, I see a picture like, oh, that's that lady. I think I bookmarked her page before. And she's having a webinar. I'm like, oh, I signed up for it. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there watching her webinar thinking, this is good stuff. I'm trying to take pictures of the screen of her slides, just doing everything. And so then I remember I set up I set up a discovery call at the end, and
Yeah.
like stuff wouldn't say, which is all kind of crazy. But when we sat and we talked, thinking, this lady, she knows her stuff. I mean, we clicked. We
Yeah,
clicked.
we did.
It was funny. And so that's how I understood what a coach, a business coach would do. I had worked with another coach before. That was more kind of helping me kind of get my life together. But
Mm-hmm.
I said, this lady with the Angelica, I said, I think she can help me kind of put all this stuff together. So that's how I met you. That's how I
Wow.
started getting some structure.
Awesome. I didn't know you had bookmarked me. That's interesting.
Yes, because
I
I
always
was.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was just I think I was just Googling different things, and I saw your website. You says, my name is Angelica, and you put how to phonetically pronounce your name, thinking. And so if you go to my website, solutionsbychandrallc.com, and you click about me, it says Chandra Gear and tells how to pronounce Chandra.
Awesome. Awesome. So when we first met, your business was completely brand new.
Completely brand new. I had only had my LLC in place for about 3 months.
Okay. And what was one of your biggest business fears when we first met?
Um, I don't think I had a lot of fear. I
Mm-hmm.
just remember the call and we discussed like, okay, and you were like, really? Yeah, okay, I'm ready. I think that I really don't think I had any fear. I think I was just really excited that, okay, this is a person who's going to help me get these ideas out of my head and make it work.
Okay, so let me rephrase that question. What were your top business problems when we first met? Like, how were you thinking about your business problems at that time?
I just knew that I needed to get people, and I knew that I can use social media to reach people outside of where I lived. So that
Right.
I knew that, and I knew that that was something that a lot of people, at least locally, and had done my research, had not been tapping into that to the way that I
Okay.
wanted to. So I'm thinking, okay, and she understands social media. I mean, I love Facebook. I'm always on Facebook. Thinking,
Mhm.
how can I help monetize this? You know, how can I reach these people? Because I was on Facebook a lot because I was miserable at my job, and that was my escape. So if
Mhm.
other people are trying to escape, they're going to be on social media, and that was the
Mhm.
audience that I wanted to look at.
Okay. So you came to me because you just wanted to get in front of people that could be your potential clients.
Yes,
And
yes,
that's when I introduced you to the wonderful world of funnels.
yes. Do you want to tell the funnel story, or should I tell the funnel story?
You go ahead.
Well, we had our first meeting, like our first appointment, and you were asking me these different questions. And I'm the type, I try to act like I'm smart. I try to, let's just say I fake it till I make it. And she's saying, okay, so who's your ideal client? Who's this? You know, what kind of funnel? I'm thinking, funnel? This lady's talking about the thing you put oil in your car with or in the kitchen? Like, and I'm just trying to figure find. I said, what is a funnel? I didn't understand it. And it really wasn't until we got a little bit further along, I'm thinking, oh, that's what a funnel is. It clicks. And
Right.
so, yeah, because I was too embarrassed to say I didn't know what a funnel was.
Yeah, you're so funny. Yeah, so right. So we first tackled the foundational pieces of your business, which was really eye-opening for you because you knew that your ideal client was someone who needed to get the hell out of their job. But can you share a little bit about how our work together really helped you refine that and really find your niche?
Sure. When I first knew that I wanted to do the career coaching, I knew that I wanted to, I mean, I thought I just want to help people. So that was the
Mhm.
big thing. I want to help people. But there was a certain people that I wanted to help. Now, when I was in my prior area, we could not say I can only work with this type of people because that would have been discriminatory. But as a coach, I can talk about my ideal client who I feel that I'm best gifted to work and solve their problems. So
Right.
that it went from helping everybody to helping, people who were miserable with their jobs. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it narrowed it down like, you know what? I'm a woman. I know women's issues. I really didn't understand male issues. So if a man came to me for help, that's fine. But I really want to focus in on women, on female.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started narrowing it down a little bit more to the point that I actually knew the person. Like I gave my little person, my little avatar. I mean, that's a fancy term for my little ideal person. Is I knew that this is the population that I wanted to work with. I didn't want to work with person who. I mean, I I learned that it was okay to say the people that I didn't want to work with, meaning
That's
that
right.
someone who didn't want to invest in coaching, someone
Mm-hmm.
who, if they didn't have any money, I can refer them to someone else. I can help them, do the Christian thing, give little advice. But as far as signing them on, I know that I couldn't because they wouldn't be able to pay me, and then that
Mm-hmm.
was okay to know that, to know those things. So
Yeah.
really, just narrowing it down to the people that I wanted to work with, so then that way I know how to find them.
And just a bonus for everyone watching, this is why she's getting killer cheap leads on Facebook because of this. I am jealous of her lead conversion prices because she is killing it on Facebook ads because how specific she is on her ideal client. And I'm so proud that she did the work. I showed her what to do, and she is just killing it with through her ads because of how specific she is. Now, when we first met, how were you with technology? Because there's a little bit of technology to running an online business, which you've mastered so well. Tell a little bit about your journey with technology.
Well, I've always been a techie. I love technology. When I was working at the college, if it was a new software, I'd volunteer to be on the committee to try to implement it. I wanted to learn it. And I'm the type that I'll get a manual and just try to figure things out because I just like to know that stuff. And so when you recommended the different software that we can use, I downloaded, started working with it. I went to YouTube and saw little things behind the scenes. So technology did not scare me at all. I wanted to conquer it. I wanted to master it.
And
so
you
it was
have.
fun. It was fun.
Girlfriend, you have. Even Facebook ads. You were a zero newbie, right? To Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm. I was. I mean, you had a couple training sessions where you showed us how, and I remember sitting there, I would ask questions. That's one thing I want to advise people. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Never.
Or say you don't get anything. You say you don't get it. But I watched and I paid attention, and then I went and dabbled and clicked around, and I started thinking about, okay, the people that I want to reach, what are the things they like to do, or what are they doing? And that's just how, I'm just going to say it was God, because I remember we had a call, says, Angelica, is this good? You're like, well, yeah, it's good. Like, okay, so I don't know what this means. It just says like $1. You're getting leads for $1. I'm like, is that good? Yeah, it's good.
Let me preface, these are webinar leads. Webinar leads can range from anywhere from $5 to $30 in my experience. I have paid probably even more than $30 in my past for webinar leads. So for her to get $1 webinar leads is insane. Insane. Oh my goodness.
I remember when you said increase my budget, thinking more than $5? Yes, Sean, you can bump it up to $6. Really? No, bump it up to 12. Again, bump it up to 12. Really? And so I did, and they just kept coming.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about this funnel that I teach a few different funnels, right? But of course, my favorite one is webinars. And you have really mastered doing webinars too, from what I've taught you. So why don't you share a little bit about how you get clients and the funnel that we all love so much?
Okay, well, when Angelica started talking to us about webinars, all this really stuff kind of fell in place. So what I do, and for those who don't know what a webinar is, just think of it as a seminar, but it's on the web. And so I put together a webinar and I was kind of even struggling what to do for my first one, but I just wrote it on heart, 6 steps to getting the hell out of a job you hate. And I say the quotes because I'm not someone that curses, so I always put the word quote around hell. So I'm like, I just don't want people to think I'm saying bad words. But my philosophy is if you're working in a hellish job, it is hell on earth. So I'm trying to help you. So I put together a presentation, aka the webinar, that talked about the 6 steps of being able to get out of the job. But that's the key on the webinar. You don't tell too much. You're just kind of whetting their appetite. So like it's a first date, just trying to find some information about the people. So using Angelica's, she mapped everything out. You do this, this. So I'm working on my presentation, and I'm looking at the guide that she gave us. I'm literally following step by step to the point that I'm doing exactly what she told me. And that's another key. Do what she tells you.
Right?
It works. So I put together my presentation and I practiced it. I said, okay, I can do this. And I think the biggest challenge for me is I'm used to being able to have that face-to-face interaction. So to be right now just talking to a screen and there are people behind the scenes who I can't see their face was a little nerve-wracking. But I did a presentation. I answered questions. And during the presentation, I'm giving them that information. And then I invite them at the end to get on the phone and talk a little bit more about that, which is a discovery call. So I guess you can say the funnel is I put together my advertisement. I did a Facebook ad. People see the ad. They'd click on sign up for the webinar. It would take them to a lead page, or sometimes people call them landing pages, where it kind of gave a little bit more information, and it had a call to action. And my buttons say, get me the hell out now, or I need to get out now. And they would click on that, and from there, I would get their first name and their email address, which is, gathering the lead information. And then that's how Facebook, okay, she got a lead based off of this. And from there, they would get an email from me thanking them about the webinar, thanking them for signing up and inviting them to get into my private Facebook group. And I just sent like a little series of letters, just letting them know a little bit more about me right before the webinar. So then at the webinar, I did the webinar, talked with them, and had some Q&A where people answered questions. And then it started another sequence where I thanked them for coming. And for those who maybe signed up and weren't able to watch it, they got a separate email inviting them to look at the replay. Mm-hmm. And then people get on the phone with people.
And did you know how to do any of this before we worked together?
Heck no. Heck no. I was the one signing up for everybody else's webinars, but once I learned what this was, when I'm looking at Facebook, I'm thinking, okay, they just want my contact information.
You know our marketing secrets now,
Yes,
Chandra.
I know the secrets. So there's some I'm thinking, let me just kind of see what they're all about. And it's funny because I did sign up for someone's webinar who was doing something similar to what I do. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is boring. And you could tell that it was a recording. Okay, it wasn't a live, and I do live webinars. But it's just the way they did it. It was just like, it went on, and I got lost. I'm thinking, this isn't good. So I learned what not to do by sometimes looking at others.
Right, right. And I think one of the keys to your success, besides being fearless, I mean, you are absolutely fearless, is you have enjoyed every step of the process.
Mm-hmm.
You truly have. I mean, everything has not been easy, right?
No.
I remember when you got your first discovery call booked, we set up an emergency call to train you on how to do sales calls. And then they ended up hiring you, right?
Well, she didn't right away. She didn't have the money right then. She just decided it wasn't something she wanted to do. But later on, I shared something else with her, and she got the job. And she sent me a Starbucks gift card as a thank you.
Oh, okay. So you have just enjoyed every step of it. And even with the challenges, like learning how to do a sales call, right? Learning how to do all of this technology, learning how to put together a marketing funnel, learning how to master social media. Let's talk a little bit about that now. Okay. So, as a marketer, I look at everything as a funnel. So the webinar thing, emails, that's one type of funnel. Now, you have also mastered, my friend, Facebook Lives. You're amazing on Facebook Lives, and I'm so proud of you because not only do I teach paid traffic generation, but organic. And organic is amazing because it's free. So tell a little bit about how you overcame your fear of going live and how you've grown into this, I want to say, social celebrity almost, doing lives.
Okay, well, first I always laughed, and my mother always said if we didn't know the meaning of a word, look it up. She started talking about organic. I'm thinking, are we talking vegetables and fruit now? Organic? Thinking, organic means that you're not paid for. Okay, I get it. Well, how I got into the world of Facebook Lives, I had just come back from an Alaskan cruise, and I hadn't been able to connect with everybody in our little group right away. And so then I log in. It's like, okay, we have to do a Facebook Live 5 days in a row. I'm thinking, huh? What? I don't even know what I'm doing. So
when I challenged you guys.
Yes, and so she's like, Angelica said, I just got to do it. So I'm at my brother's house. I was dog sitting, and I'm sitting here trying to get my iPad to work out, and my hair is all crazy, and I didn't know what I'm thinking, why does she have us talking live to people? This doesn't make any sense. But it did, because it was my own commercial. That's and I did my first one, and I got so many views, and I had one of them, it had 300 views. I'm thinking, where these people come from? It was just like, wow. And so then people started commenting, and it helped me see the things that I talked about, what people enjoy. I think that one, as of right now, has something 700 views. It was talking about dream killers. So parents who killed their kids' dreams by saying you can't go to school, or you can't do this, can't do that. It was all about filtering out the people who speak negatively over you.
Wow. Yeah, that is powerful. So, for those of you who don't know how to do market research, there you go. Start doing Facebook Lives, and the topics that are home run, that's what people want to hear about. Mm-hmm. And that was before the Facebook algorithm changed a few weeks ago. So Facebook, the algorithm has updated again, where it is just completely in favor of Facebook Live video, not even video in general, but Facebook Live video. So if you're doing Facebook Lives, that's going to get more reach than anything else that you will put on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
organically. And then now you just love it, right? You just love going live.
I do. I just always have to make sure that my hair is right. I mean, I got the best lighting and stuff. And Angela's like, you don't have to be perfect, but I think that's where it comes from. Like, I'm working in higher ed, you have to have this certain look and certain appearance. But the people that I'm working with, now I'm not going to look like a schlumperdinka, but I'm going to still be, I don't have to worry about trying to get glammed up just to talk to people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Always, always, you want to be authentic to who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I talk a lot about that in branding, right? You don't want to pretend to be someone that you're not. And that's very stressful, right? When you have to try to pretend. At the same time, you want to be professional, right? Because we are running businesses.
Right.
But there is a balance between being true to who you are as well as having a level of professionalism.
Right.
Sometimes my kids will get into some of my lives. I mean, I'm a mom with two little boys. What can I do?
Right.
So, but there's certain things that I just would never do as well. So what else would you share with someone who is on the precipice of either launching out on their own, or they've been trying to do it on their own and they're just so frustrated? Like, what words of encouragement, now that you've had some success running your own business, it's almost been a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
What would you share with someone who's a few steps behind you?
That if you have an idea, just run with it. You don't have to have all the pieces together right away, because I'm the type that I like to have everything from A to Z all planned out, but I realize that you have to allow for flexibility and allow for God to give you other ideas. Because when Angelica and I first started working together, I knew that I wanted to have this 3-month program and I wanted to take them from A to Z. But then, I didn't even have the concept of what I call the program now. I just know I had my big program and it never had a name. But I remember we had a phone call and I says, Angelica, is there a way I can have a shorter program for people maybe who aren't ready to, they don't necessarily need a full 3-month program as far as transformation. They just need to get out now. She
Mm-hmm.
goes, yeah. And we branded it. It was like the working name was called my 457 program, which changed into the Get the Hell Out monthly accountability program. And from that, my big program is now called Get the Hell Out. So I have
Right.
the big program is Get the Hell Out, but the other one is for the monthly program is for those people who are what I call, they have the wine and cheese parties where, oh, I can't get a job or I can't this. I'm the person that's going to hold their feet to the fire and hold them accountable and make sure that they're doing what they said they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Excellent. And that's the thing with business. There is no cookie cutter, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's even with funnels, right? There is a certain science to it. There's no denying that. But, I talk about God on my webinars. I teach a little bit on my webinars. That's a big no-no. Don't teach
Mm-hmm.
on webinars. Um, you want to do what feels good to you, right? Um, and really be true to what God is calling you to do. So good for you. Good for you. And even with programs, right? If you're not comfortable charging, X amount for your program, well, then create a smaller program. Or if
Mm-hmm.
you feel you want a smaller program, do a smaller program. There is no right or wrong here, you guys. The only wrong is not to follow what God is calling you to do.
Right, and being in tune to what your comfort level is, because at one point, I mean, because I always would say, okay, what do I charge? But I want to make sure that I'm appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
And it took working with a person before I met Angelica, who I worked with her and I helped her, and she didn't charge. I didn't charge her anything, but I
Mm-hmm.
saw how she really just was very dismissive over. She didn't respect our time together.
Yeah.
I'd be ready to talk with her. She'd be 20 minutes late. I said, you know what? No, this isn't cool. But when I started working with my attorney, I knew what she charged per hour. I said, you know what? If she can do this, I says I can do this because it's worth it. This is the person that they're talking with. They're getting 30 years of experience of my knowledge. What they can learn from me in an hour, it took me 10, 15 years to learn. I'm
Right.
worth it. I'm worth it.
That's
So I
right.
have no problem, setting prices. And actually, the program that we talked about, the monthly accountability, I've even increased the price, and I have no qualms about it.
You're amazing. You're amazing. So tell us what's next for you.
What's next for me? I just want to continue reaching more people. More
Hmm.
people need to hear about what I have to offer because I want to help people get out. I
And
want.
as we wrap up right now, I really just want to thank you for your time and um, just want to share with everyone that the biggest thing that she's gotten out of coaching with me is not even business related, which, you know, I don't think she realized the impact it had on me. It made me cry a little when you emailed me and I read that you wrote that what you've learned that's been the most impactful is that you're valuable and that you have value to share with the world. And I'm like, yes, I saw it from day one, you know?
But I didn't. Even though I knew what I can do, it's always nice. So I just say, I think it's important that you have people that remind you of that. Because I didn't always have that. And it took, there's the baby. It took, working with what I call our group of coaching sisters. Like, oh, yes, Chandra, you do this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, wow, I am special.
That's right. Absolutely. And it's been so awesome working with you, and you truly are special. I just love working with you so much. So as we wrap up, where can people find you? How can they see you? When is the next webinar? If someone's looking to get the hell out, if they're not looking to start a business, they want to get the hell out of their job, how can they find out more information about you?
Okay, what they can do, if you're on Facebook, you can look up Solutions by Chandra, and you'll like my page, and you can click the Book Now button if you want to do a discovery call, or just follow me on Facebook. But you can go to, I'm going to give the long one, www.solutionsbychandrallc.com/contact, and set up a discovery call. We can chit chat that way. If you're on LinkedIn, look up Chandra L. Gary, and you'll see my full profile that talks about the Get the Hell Out program.
Awesome. And any last words to someone that is afraid, or they're in the beginning process of their business and they're just not sure? Should they take that step of faith and jump out and do what God is calling them to do? What would you tell them?
I'd say definitely take it in prayer, put any pride aside, any humility, just say, God, you know what? This is what I want to do. And if God is in it, you will know. He will make it. And just even pray that God as I make this decision, if it's things that I should be doing, close the door. He didn't do that with me. He left the doors open. So stay prayerful, and then just tell the devil to go to hell. You have a purpose, and he's not gonna stop you from your purpose. You got to look at that fear. I mean, people say face fear in the face, but truly, you got to go forward. If you believe that God is with you, it's gonna be all right.
That's right. That's right. And has he left you at all?
I'm still fluffy.
And we'll leave it at that. You're killing it, girl. And thank you so much for your time. And I'll talk to you later this week.
Okay. See you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.